A silhouette carved from absolute zero. Your gaze, a velvet cage of infinite depth. I watch the light flicker in your irises while your voice drips venom's waiting for starving earth. Geometry of perfect predation. I am the moth guarding your cold black flame. Symmetry fractures the closer you crawl. Oxygen bleeds from this hollowed room. You engineered my exquisite undoing, and I'm finished resisting the blueprint. Black tongue, cuddles around the core. Squeeze the last bow, rip open the door. A new samurai in the throat of the weak. Devour what's mine. No mercy, no words to speak. Cuts like serrated obsidian. I'm sinking through the floor of your dark design. Slip between the bars of my ribcage. Sulfur and frost replace the air I crave. I hold the threshold wide for your shadow as your fingers find the rhythm of my black tongue, coils around the core. Squeeze the last bow, rip open the door. A new samurai in the throat of the weak. Devour what's mine. No mercy, no words to speak. I guide your grip straight to the center of my chest. The iron coil cinches a perfect vicious fit. I taste the end.
Hello, nerds. We have another short one today. Because I am forced to do a short one because my brain just decided that we were going to start late today. There was no excuse. There was absolutely no excuse. I watched some YouTube videos and then went, oh crap, I wanted to start 30 minutes ago and I don't even have a thumbnail made yet. So, because that is the case, we are going to do a reaction stream tonight, so that we can play a little catch up because I'm too sore to go to the gym. So that's just going to be the way it goes. So we have articles to read. Let's make sure I have everything open to where it needs to be. And then we will make the switch. Thank you for joining me for yet another live episode. We're just keeping on trucking and stuff. We have things to talk about as far as check out the merch store. Go get your Nerdy Phantom shirt for your music nerd needs because I love this design and you should too. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor, DUBBY. You can get your very own DUBBY tubs at dubby.gg. If you use code GenerallyNerdy at checkout, you get 10% off of your entire cart. All of the obligations out of the way. Let's do the thing. Ba-ba-ba! Alright, so we very well could only have time for the 3 in the thumbnail. My apologies. I'm sorry. Hey man, at least we got to it, right? So the first one is a spin-off movie rumor about the Super Mario movie franchise. Reportedly, there is a Luigi's Mansion movie rumored as Nintendo expands after the success of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is unsurprising. If you have been paying attention even a little bit, this should not take you by any sort of surprise. So let's read this article from Cosmic Book News. If you want to just get ahead of me on the news on these broadcasts, that is a good place to go. they need some traffic, man. They're a good news source. So yeah, I mean they're not my only news source, but they are one that I use heavily. Article is as follows: a Luigi's Mansion movie could be next for Nintendo and Illumination, as at excuse me, at least according to a new rumor making the rounds online. On X, Shapeshell, something. Nick claimed that after the success of the Mario movies, Nintendo is, quote, looking at pitching a Luigi's Mansion movie, unquote. Nothing has been officially announced by Nintendo, Universal, or Illumination. So far, now this falls firmly in rumor territory. But if you're paying attention and you're playing the game at home, kids, this is not far-fetched. The only way we'll be able to confirm that this is a thing is when they announce that it's been greenlit to start happening. But, like, I feel like that would be an interesting way to give the haters kind of what they're looking for out of the what we've got from the last two movies. Specifically, more so the second movie than the first, because the first seemed to have a little bit more of a coherent, like, actual storyline and wasn't just things happening on screen in succession. But like this is definitely a much more definitive narrative than we would get from another just regular Mario movie. And also would be something that most of the normies aren't super familiar with, because the Luigi's Mansion games, while they do well, don't do as well as the Super Mario games, right? So it would be interesting to see the different takes from the audience, if you will, based on the very different storyline from the Mario games. Anyway, continuing on with the article. Even if it's only a rumor right now, the idea isn't hard to believe, like we were just talking about moments ago. Super Mario Galaxy movie is off to a huge start at the box office. Nintendo already has proven that animated Mario movies can turn into massive global hits. As of Tuesday, so this is Tuesday last week, I think, because this is an older article. Yeah, this is from the 9th. So, as of Tuesday, Super Mario Galaxy movie had reached $429 million worldwide, including $222 million domestic. First Super Mario movie from 23 finished with more than 1.36 billion worldwide. That kind of performance is exactly why Nintendo would be looking at more spin-offs and character-focused movies. That would go so far into giving the audience what they're looking for. Luigi is one of the biggest names in the Mario universe, and Luigi's Mansion already gives them a built-in hook that is different from the mainline Mario films. Again, we were just talking about all of these things. Instead of another bright Mushroom Kingdom adventure, Luigi's Mansion leans into ghosts, creepy comedy, and haunted house fun. Luigi's Mansion, we know what Luigi's Mansion is, right? Started in Nintendo GameCube, released in 2001, blah, 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 blah. Super Mario Galaxy movie's already breaking records, blah, 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 blah. Global debut, $372.5 million. Made it the biggest global opening of 2026 at the time. Well, I mean, still so far, I'm pretty sure. I don't think anything's beat it in the last week. Second biggest global opening ever for an Illumination movie, behind Super Mario Bros. Movie, the first one, and the second biggest opening ever for a movie based on a video game, behind the first one again. Domestically, the film posted the biggest opening of 2026 and followed that with a strong weekday hold. Box Office Mojo shows it pulled $14.79 million on Tuesday alone. That's pretty huge for a Tuesday. So, that is our first rumor that we're talking about. Our next rumor that we're talking about, we're going to get into some X-Men. Actually, our next two rumors we're talking about, we're getting into X-Men casting. The first one is a double rumor. We have Odessa Azion for Rogue and Peter Claffey for Beast. I can't remember exactly what she's from, but obviously that's Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, right? So, we have Marvel's X-Men movie now has two more casting rumors making the rounds. According to the Insider, Odessa, I'm going to just keep saying Azion, maybe it's Azion, is reportedly being eyed for Rogue, while Peter Claffey is said to be in the mix for Beast. Nothing has been confirmed by Marvel Studios, so for now this stays in rumor category. The report follows, excuse me, Recent update from director Jake Schreier, who revealed that Lee Sung-jin and Joanna Callow are currently working on a draft of the script, which makes it clear the movie is still deep in development. If the rumor is legit, Odessa Azion would be in line for one of the most popular X-Men characters. Rogue has always been a major fan favorite thanks to her powers, attitude, and her longtime connection to Gambit. Zion is known for her Hellraiser. That's what I recognize her from. Cool. Known for Hellraiser, Sitting in Bars with Cake, and Grand Army. She fits the younger age range that has been tied to Marvel's apparent plans for the reboot. Marvel boss Kevin Feige has already hinted the studio is looking toward a younger next-gen direction for X-Men, so a name like Zion would fit that approach. Now, this is the one that I think seems less likely. We have Peter Claffey being linked to Beast. Would they want Claffey as a character? Yes. Is he of a dominating size so that Beast theoretically could make sense? Sure. Is that likely though? Like, I feel like Beast is such a unique character. I don't know. I just don't see Claffey being the guy. Anyway, excuse me. Peter Claffey being linked to Beast is also an interesting pick. Claffey is best known for landing a role of Dunk in HBO's A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. He has the size and presence that could make sense for Hank McCoy. That's the thing, is the presence. Like, I don't think he has the same... That's not to say he has bad presence. I just don't think he has the presence to be Hank McCoy. Beast is one of the core X-Men characters, so if Marvel is really looking at Claffey, that could be a sign the studio is starting to zero in on the main lineup. As with Rogue, though, this is only a report, not official casting announcement. I just don't see him as Beast. There is just something that disconnects him from my mind as potentially playing Beast. I don't know. Anyway, bigger picture here is that Marvel still seems to be building the movie from the ground up. Schreier's recent comments made it sound like the studio wants X-Men to lean into both the ideological conflict and the personal drama that made the comics work in the first place. That could mean a more character-driven reboot instead of just another effects-heavy team movie. It also means more casting rumors are likely on the way as the project moves forward. Rogue and Beast are both major names, so if Zion and Claffey really are under consideration, fans will probably have a lot to say. For now, Marvel hasn't officially announced the cast. Yes, we have reiterated that a number of times. This is extreme rumor territory. I don't know, man. I still just don't see it, I guess. All right, second rumor. Done! Third rumor, and potentially the one that got most of you to click on the thumbnail, is Sydney Sweeney also being rumored for the X-Men movie. New X-Men casting rumor says Sydney Sweeney is being eyed for Emma Frost in the MCU. If there was ever a character in the X-Men lore that Sydney Sweeney was meant to play, it is Emma freaking Frost. That would be perfect casting. Can they afford her, considering the end? I mean, I guess Emma's a little bit on the older side as far as like the age range of the rest of the characters. So that also would make sense because she's not as young. She's still young. She's in her like mid-20s, right? So she's still young, but she's not in her early 20s. So she's a couple years older than the other kids. Very interesting. All right, the latest claim comes from My Time to Shine Hello on X. So nothing is official from Marvel, but it adds to the growing pile of names I can read now being tied to the reboot. Again, like that's kind of perfect casting. This is very probably, though, My Time to Shine throwing stuff out there to see what sticks. Like, I feel like My Time to Shine has been really kind of hit and miss with the last few months. Like very much more so than previously. Sydney Sweeney rumor adds another major X-Men name. If the rumor is legit, Sydney Sweeney as Emma Frost would be a huge role. The character is one of the biggest mutant characters Marvel has left to properly introduce in the MCU, and she brings a lot more than just powers. Emma Frost works when the movie leans into ego, class politics, manipulation, and team conflict, which could fit with what Jake Schreier recently suggested Marvel wants from a X-Men. Yes, I think that is an absolute alignment of what we have heard is very likely the direction of this Marvel movie, and also who the character is, right? Those two things are perfectly in line. Sweeney's name also makes sense from a headline standpoint because she's one of the biggest young actresses in Hollywood right now. That is absolutely true. Previous rumor we just talked about. New writers working on the script now. We just talked about that as well. So yeah, perfect casting if true. Sydney Sweeney just doing the thing. All right, I think we definitely have time for one more. So let's go find one more. I think we have another rumor in here. Yeah, we got a Star Trek rumor. We're going to talk about some Star Trek real quick. Star Trek United. Rumor grows as Paramount looks past Starfleet Academy because, oh boy, should they. Following cancellation of Starfleet Academy and its sets being torn down, rumors are picking up that Paramount could be eyeing a new Star Trek series called Star Trek United, with Scott Bakula returning as Jonathan Archer. That would be dope because the Enterprise series that Bakula starred in previously was so underappreciated that I think he deserves a second shot. Like, I dug it. It wasn't the best Star Trek, but it was still pretty good. I hope that was not the camera freezing on me, because I can't see it right now. Returning as Jonathan Archer and Enterprise writer-producer Michael Sussman involved. Right now, nothing official has been announced, as noted below. IMDb Pro lists Star Trek United as a pitch, quote-unquote, not as something in production or even in development. But it made it up to IMDb, which is like saying it's on Wikipedia. Anyone can edit that damn thing, so it's really not as reliable as you would hope. An image placeholder featuring Bakula being used on IMDb also appears to be AI generated. The rumors are coming from various ex-users and YouTubers. Word first hit back in August, but Paramount has not confirmed anything. Yeah, that's definitely AI. It's far too shiny to be an actual production still. According to the description from IMDb, the pitch is set, quote, at the dawn of the Federation, unquote. President Jonathan Archer dealing with political threats, interstellar tension, the effort to hold together a divided galaxy that lines up with details previously reported about the concept being a, quote, more grounded political thriller set after Archer's Starfleet career. That would tick so many boxes. That would be socially relevant. That would still, you haven't changed a main character from a previous previous series in any sort of dramatic way. Like, obviously, he's not a captain anymore. He's the president, which is pretty interesting. And it could show the change in the audience. It could show that they're reading the room, like we keep talking about here. So they're not reading the room. So. Continuing on. Star Trek United details. Previous details tied to the rumored project said Bakula and Sussman had been working on the idea for a few years. Concept would follow Archer after Enterprise, with the former captain now serving as president of the United Federation of Planets during the unstable early years of the Federation. Sussman described it as a mix of political thriller and family drama with comparisons to The West Wing, Homeland. That is such a good idea for a Star Trek show. I love that. I love that a lot. Earlier report said that because that is such a great combination of where Star Trek started with their commentary on social politics, and being as the social and the political have become so close in recent years, doing something akin to The West Wing, but obviously making it much more family friendly, is right in line with what you want out of Star Trek, right? Like, and if I just said Star Wars because I think I heard it after the fact, somebody please take my nerd card because that was a horrible slip of the tongue. But I meant Star Trek. Earlier reports said that the idea grew out of a continuity Sussman planted in Enterprise, specifically a future database entry about Archer's post-Starfleet life. From there, the pitch reportedly evolved into a full show concept. New Skydance-led Paramount has already made it clear that Star Trek remains a priority because it freaking should, especially on the movie side. After the merger, David Ellison pointed to Star Trek as one of the company's key franchises as Paramount looks to build out bigger theatrical brands, and later reports said the studio moved ahead with a new Star Trek movie from Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daley. Nothing has been announced yet. Yes. This is all just rumor, but isn't that an awesome idea? I already love the freaking AI-generated poster and everything. I want this to be a thing. That, unfortunately, nerds, is where we are going to have to call this a stream. Like I said, we will return again this evening. It will be less news-oriented and more reaction-oriented, so it will be also streamed up on the Rumble. I'll get that all set up. I finally figured out what the technical issues were from last stream, so those should not be an issue. Either way, I appreciate your faces, nerds. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that, DUBBY is a thing. So check out DUBBY. Ha! I gotcha! Check out DUBBY. Also, where the heck did it go? Oh, we got to go to the other. Also, we have, if I can find the button. There it is. Music Nerd. Go check out the Phantom Nerd. Oop. I just clipped the microphone. I apologize. Go check out the Phantom Nerd design over on the merch store. Links in the description. Regardless of what platform you are watching or listening on, I appreciate your faces and your ears and your attention, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.